Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. Obviously, a bit different today. Obviously, doing this as doing the preview as a live stream because I really haven't had time to get the preview done as normal. So I thought, well, what's the next best thing you're doing a preview and to get my tips out for the great racing we have today? And I thought, why not do a live stream early on in the morning? As you can tell, I'm a little bit tired. I'm just coming off doing night shift, so I thought it would be the best way to do it. Get the tips done nice and easy, and let's get into the first and find some winners. Off coming off a great weekend last Saturday in finding 5 winners. What a thrill it was, with Rise at Dawn looking gone, fighting back to win in another wheel. That was just a class win. We come into this week with high hopes. Obviously, Group 1 Moir Stakes Day, and I actually am pretty keen on one in the Moir, and it's not one of the favourites. But anyway, we get into the tips, first being a handicap over the mile, and I'm with Captain Barbosa. I actually think this horse is extremely hard to beat. Where, look, there's only one leader in the race, and that's Coco Bill, and he will get us in front. But I think Captain Barbosa, the maiden win was impressive. It was a Bendigo maiden, so I count that as a city class maiden. Geelong, Bendigo, I count them as city class maidens outside of the metropolitan area. And she'd only hit the horse twice in the straight, peeled it out at the top of the straight. Was quite impressive in the way he put the field away. Shin sticks here. They come to town. They draw a good barrier for a horse that I think can settle right behind Coco Bill and Evaporate, because I think Evaporate will go forward. I think the price of about $364 is over the odds, and I think that Captain Barbosa can win the first. Evaporate, I've got him for second. I thought the race sets up similar to its last start effort, in where it ran very well at the Valley and winning by 3 lengths. Can it repeat the dose here? Who knows? But Mickey D is on, and I think can run well for the Hayes boys, who are absolutely flying. Coco Bill, like I said, should get a soft lead up on speed, though. Coco Bill's maiden ran a significantly slower time than Captain Barbosa's maiden, so that's why I think Captain Barbosa did it in faster time and can go on with it here. Obviously, 1,600 metre queer with both horses. It won't be with Evaporate, though Coco Bill maiden was over 14, so was Captain Barbosa's, and they both went impressively. So I think they can both take that next step. But hopefully, for the tip's sake, Captain Barbosa comes out on top. And Peru in for fourth at $18. I thought there's a little much between Peru and Evaporate, considering Peru had Evaporate coal in the size produce. But then again, Evaporate is only first up here, Peru's only first up here, and Coco Bill's Evaporate's had a couple of runs. So I think Evaporate can win the duel between this start, but going forward, I think Peru could be a horse to follow. But I'm with Captain Barbosa in the handicap over the mile in the first race. Hopefully, she can get the job done for us and get the money in the first race. All right, race 2, benchmark 74 over the mile. For what I do believe is fillies and mares. I've got Le Mans for second. I think he's going to run a really good race. He's going to be back in the field, or semi back in the field, and looking to run to it. If there's no second up sitter after his first up run, he's going to be hard to beat. But I actually like, and I'm pretty keen here on Arcana. What's wrong with her form? I mean, her last 2 starts have been impressive. She was just behind them at Sandown, shot the gap, burst through and won. Beat a horse was in binding, and then the start after that went to Flemington as the favourite and absolutely bolted in and did it quite impressively. So I can't see why she's not considered a winning chance here. And in my opinion, $9 is way over the odds for this horse. I mean, she's a genuine probably $5-6 chance, yes, but not $9. She's that price is just too good not to get involved. So I can't for mine in race 2. Like I say, Le Mans for second. He's going to run a race. If there is no second up syndrome involved, he can run. He will be charging home and can win. Charisse, I think, is over the odds at $10. Ties in the form with Written in Code, and I think can beat Written in Code home here as she did I think on the last start of the start before it's seen it, and he's Cameron race at $10. And Way Marie, don't discard this horse. The only reason Zara is jumping off, he's not jumping off because he didn't want to ride the horse, but with the weight that that the handicapper has given Way Marie, the stable more or less had to go with a claiming apprentice, and they found a great one in Tom Preble. So and did win. It did bolt in at the Valley last start. So can definitely win in Way Marie. It's an open race, but I'm just going with the best form, best horse in the race in my opinion. In Arcana at $9. Hopefully. We'll be seeing it score in race 2. Race 3 is a benchmark 84 over the mile. I also thought this was an open race, and I took the horse I'm tipping on a couple of starts ago. But here, I actually really like him from the outside draw. Damien Lane at board, that probably gives it a big, gives it away. But Le Zebra from the outside draw, he's proven he can go forward in the past. And I think Damien Lane will be directing him as urgent from the start to come across from barrier number 2, come across from barrier 10, and to find an on-speed position. If he gets that position, I really think he's going to be hard to beat. He's got the right form around him. Craig, Rise at Dawn, that's really good form because obviously Rise at Dawn's gone right on all with it, and Craig absolutely bolted in at Caulfield last Saturday. So I think, the form really ties in with this horse. He won it 5 lengths a couple of starts ago at Flemington, showing how good he was. He didn't beat anything, but he's a very good horse, and I think he can prove it here. And at $4.20, I think it's a good price. Logan Street lying in for second. This horse is over the odds at $16. Definitely deserving of a double-figure price mark. I mean, maybe $11, $10, but just a little bit over the odds at 16 for mine. But he'll be running well. Karen McAvoy on for Chris Waller. We always respect the stable when they have what's the word? A horse probably more suited to racing Sydney way, and that he brings it down to Melbourne. So I think Logan Street Line could run really well. Nails Murphy, same story, no weight. Jamie Carr on for Kieran Moore, I think can run well. In for third in Sunsets. If this horse brings its best form, $31 is going to look like a stupid price because this horse ran third in the Derby to Riff Rocket and beat Riff Rocket at Caulfield. I think it was the Norman Robertson. I could be wrong in that. I could be wrong, but I think if he finds his best form, can win and comes back to racing as a gelding. So $31 might be worth the play at double figure odds in Sunsets. But Le Zebra for mine in race 3 to get the chocolates. Race 4 is a benchmark 78 over the 2,040 meters, the Cox Plate start. And in my opinion, and probably the opinion of a lot of people, it's a 2-horse race. And I'm just lucky that I'm the part owner in one of the 2 horses that of the chances in the race, being Lording. Now, he's undefeated at the Valley. He has a map advantage on Lincoln Rocks. He meets Lincoln Rocks a half a kilo better off from a nose defeat from last start and will be up on speed and has map favourite on him. How is Lincoln Rocks favourite over Lording? Considering you're getting $270 for Lincoln Rocks, nearly $4 for Lording. I think it's a crazy price for Lording. He's not my best on this card, but he certainly is my second best. I just think he's going to win. I honestly think Lording is just going to win. Lincoln Rock's a clear second pick. He bolted in a couple of starts ago at the Valley. I was on that day. He ran a cracking race last start, but like I said, there's a couple of things more of favour in Lording's case. Denmark for Chris Waller, Damien Lane. This horse can run really well. First start in Australia, didn't do anything, but then stepped up to the 1800 and really ran impressively. The first up run was at Doomben, and the second run was at Hawkesbury, I do believe. But those 2 runs could culminate in a win here because it is untapped third up, rising to the 2,000 meters, and they can run really well. And hard squeeze. You can never disregard this horse at the Valley, particularly over the 2,040 meters. Probably not up to the class of what Lording and Lincoln Rocks have showed, but can run a race at the figures of $31. But That's race 4 done and dusted. Now we get into the exciting part of the card. In this race 5, kicking off with the listed Chautauqua Stakes. And not going to surprise anybody here. I'm with Arkansas Kid. I just say take the $2. He's going to win. It's as simple as that. He's had the run. He's come back as a gelding. He bolted in first up. I can't see the value to be an issue. He's going to be up, or he's going to be up on speed, or settling just behind the speed. Curry sticks. Good draw. Count the cash at the 300 because he'll be that far in front. It won't be funny. Desert Lightning in for second. This horse is a seriously good horse. Weight query, distance query, genuine Group 1 horse though, and has to be respected in this race considering he ran in the All-Star Mile and over in New Zealand beat Legato, and we know what that mare has done in Australia, obviously winning the Australian Guineas a couple of years back and proving, her form as well with La Creek. Genuine Group 1 horses behind him. So he has to be respected. A Little Deep drops 4 kilos from the first up effort at Caulfield, though has had significant time between runs. So that's the query. Snapper can run a race with no weight up on speed, though he hasn't shown his best in a little while and would need to recapture his best here to be winning at $34. But Arkansas Kid for mine in the Chautauqua. There'll be no troubles about him jumping, and he'll get the chocolates at the even money quote. Race 6 is the listed Atlantic Jewel Stakes over the 1,200 meters for the fillies. And I'm going with the Maidener to win it. Silmarillion was scratched out of Sydney to run here. I think it's going to prove a beneficial scratching in running as James Cummings bringing it down to Melbourne. I think it's going to be proving extremely hard to beat. Can definitely see why it's favourite. And I think it's just clearly the one to beat. We're talking about benchmark form when you come to the rest of the field. This horse ran second in a Group 2 last start, narrowly being beaten by Amina. And Manal was in third. And I'll go through my opinion of those fillies later on. But I just think Silmarillion, they scratch her out of City for a reason. They're coming to Melbourne to look for a win, and I think she's going to get it. She might be a maiden, but she won't be after today. I think Karen McAvoy can ride her to a victory. In for a second, I've got Immortal Star, has been really good in its preparation so far and is the fit one coming off a last start win. And obviously, go back a couple of preparations, had the Evaporate and, last preparation had the Evaporate and Broadsiding form, which looks pretty good for a race like this and looked pretty good as a form reference when she won last start. So Immortal Star for second. Sassy Jenny has the Growing Empire form, and doesn't that look good form with him bolting in last start when he was on resumption, and Sakima in fourth, I think can run well. With Silmarillion in the Atlantic Jewel, I just think the best horse is going to win it. I mean, she might be a Maidener, but she won't be after today, and she won't be for too much longer. Race 7 is the listed Mackenzie Stakes over the 1,200 meters. Pardon me. Look, I've got Epimels on top, but I don't think it's a race where, he just wins. I think that there's a horse at double figures that can give him a race, but I'll just go through why I like Epimels first. 2 from 2. His first start at Sandown, Senor Bill was the favourite. He trucked up along the inside. He needed the gap to come, but when it came, he launched through it, and he ran away with it. It was very impressive on debut, and then went to the outside. It came to the outside of horses at Flemington and absolutely ran away with the Anzac Day Stakes. And for mine, that's a good horse to go inside and outside of horses, from doing it from an inside to inside on speed position and coming from back. That's a good horse. He's 2 from 2. They're looking to go to the Caulfield Guineas with this horse, as a lot of horses in this race are, where that is their target in a couple of weeks' time. But I think Epimels can win first up. But the horse I think can give him a race is a horse that's already proven at Group 1 level and is proven it at stakes grade already, and that's Bazusto. He ran really well in the... now I've forgotten the name of the race. He ran really well in the size produce at Flemington behind Traffic Warden running third. He then, he formed, you probably would say pitted off a little. He went to a maiden, pitted off because he was in stakes grade, but then he went back to a maiden, got it out of the way, absolutely bolting into the Ryan Maloney. Hard held. I was there that day, and I can tell you the win was more impressive than it looked. And he absolutely bolted in that day, and then went to the JJ Atkins. And if you look at his performance, don't look at the winner, because obviously broadsiding is going to be a multiple group winner in the spring. But if you just look at Bizzasto's performance, it was very good. They take the headgear off him. I think that he can run really well at $12, and I've got him a clear second. Angel Capital hasn't quite lived up to the Megan debut performance, though has been in 2 very good stakes races, tested in the water in Queensland during the Winter Carnival. Didn't quite live up to the hype that she had shown, but I think at $5, it's a good price to find out if you like her here. But I've got her for third, and Public Attention in for fourth. While they're talking stakes, Caulfield Guineas, they're talking Guineas Prelude, Guineas with this horse. He only won a Saturday race. He didn't do it impressively. He did do it impressively. I mean, he won by a half length running away, and everybody likes her great. But like what I'm saying is, there are better performed horses, stakes performed form horses in this race, and I'm going with that form. Being Epimales and Bizzasto. I would be my main bet's Epimales, but I'm going to have something small on Bizzasto in the Mackenzie. Race number 8 is the So You Think Stakes over the 1,500 meters. And as keen as I was on Arkansas Kid as thinking he will just win, same thing with Pericles. He comes out of the PB Lawrence, and we've already seen that form producing the Memsey winner last Saturday in Pinstriped. I think that Pericles, if he gets the right run, he's just going to be way too good for it. And I was keen on him first up, and I thought he didn't get a lot of luck. He was back towards the inside. He only got a run late. He stormed through, and it was a bit of an ugly watch. But look, he's the best horse in the race by a mile, and I think with even luck, handles the Valley. He'll just go bang, and they just won't know what will happen. And Pericles, I think, will win. Buffalo River, a clear second pick. Damien Lane riding Buffalo River over Showmanship, who Damien Lane won on Showmanship last start. Rides a horse that is only second up. Very interesting to mine. And he'll be up on speed for a long way. And we know that the Valley tends to favour leaders as well. So that's why I've got it for second. Immediacy in for third. Can run a race, only having its 6th race start. Being beaten a length in the Rosehill Guineas looks good for this, behind a star of the future in Riff Rocket. And obviously Chow Wolf has already come out of that this spring preparation and won. So I think the form ties in for immediacy. Muramasa, not last preparation in the autumn. Just forget his autumn preparation. He wasn't the same horse, but his spring preparation. He resumed at Flemington over the 1,600 metres at $34 and won impressively, beating an informed horse at the time in Gregor Limo. So I think at the odds, he's again $34 could be worth having something on. Maybe definitely the place, maybe the win, but Pericles for mine in the So You Think. I think he'll get the job done and look pretty impressive doing it. And here it is, race 9, the Group 1 Charterket Kramer Moir Stakes. Gonna surprise a fair few people here with my tip. I think there's a lot of speed in the race. I think that there's, first of all, one of the 3-year-olds will win. They just have the weight that they have an advantage on the rest of the field is just too much. So I think one of the 3-year-olds will win, but it's one of the 3-year-old fillies is going to win it. And I am with Hayosugi. Now, it might take a bit of time for people to come to terms with that, but I'll explain it now. She's a very good filly. She ran really well at her first race start in the English race at the Valley behind Bowl Bastille, handling the Valley and the 1,000 metres. She didn't handle the straight at Flemington, in my opinion, at that stage in her career. She was then sent for a spell as a young horse. She came back. She won the preview. She won the prelude. She won the diamond. She's run over the 1,000 meters 3 times. Take away not handling Flemington. She's run second and she's won at Caulfield. And she's performed well at the Valley. She's going to be back off a hot speed, no weight, Jamie Carr aboard. Beat Lady of Camelot fair and square in the diamond. They carried the same weight that day and gave her probably 6 lengths topping the straight, and she ran straight past her for a half-length victory. And they, while Lady of Camelot will be up on speed here and did beat her in the slipper as well. And again, forget like Hayasuga's run on the slipper. It was just, after the start, she was just never in it. If you isolate her form prior to the slipper, the $13 on offer looks a really good price, and I'm happy to be on at 13 for Hayasugi. I've got I Wish I Win in for second. Look, in terms of sprinting talent, he's the best horse in the race. But for what he's done as being as consistent as he has been, he has to carry the weight and carrying top weight in 58.5 kilos. And it's only 1,000 meters, and he's not screwed down for this race. They want to screw him down for the Everest because they want to win the Everest. But I still think with his class, has to be in it for a long way. Lady of Camelot in for third. Like I said, are we up on speed with Estriella? And we'll give them something to chase with no weight. And I've got the other 3-year-old in Coleman in for fourth. He very nearly he headed Lady of Camelot in the slipper, but Lady of Camelot kicked back and won, and then Lady of Camelot went to the Percy Sykes that was beaten by Anisa into second place, but was still very good. But Hayasugi, like I've said, 1,000-meter horse, 1,000-meter race, off a hot speed, no weight, J Car, beaten Coleman, beaten Lady of Camelot. The only other 2 main chances in the race, taking the weight off I Wish I Win as well. Grab the $13. It won't last long. And race 10 to finish the day. Benchmark 84 over the 1,200. And it's the class horses race to lose, isn't it? Surely Vidad wins this. He ran third in the Australian Guineas behind... Was it? Yeah. He ran fifth in the Guineas. He ran third in the CS Hayes behind Riff Rocket. He was behind good Group 1 horses. He ran really well in the Alistair Clark. Yes, 1,200 might be too short. This is the easiest race he's ever contested. If he's going to be back in the winners list, it's going to be here. He is the best horse by a mile in the race. He's been well backed. And I can see why he's a dominant. Well, I don't know if he's actually favourite or he is favourite to win the race, and I think he will do so in impressive fashion. I've got Miss Aria in for second, another one stakes class and performed mare. Blake Shin aboard and is fit. Well, coming off winter campaign, so she's going to have residual fitness. But I mean, Home Rule last up, Mini Valley winner, can run well in for third. And Along the River, no weight, and Loves the Valley in for fourth. But Vidad in the last, I think his class gets him over the line in the end. That's everything I've got to offer for the tips in regards to Moonee Valley. But hold on, I'm not finished yet. Still got the stakes races to go in Sydney. And yes, I have done them. So in the 1 second, I'm just going to get it up on here. In the Premiers. The Premier? No, it's not. In the Lexus Cup over the 2,400, I've got Changing of the Guard on top to beat Strathtay. Now, Strathtay is a short price favourite off what it did last start when Nash rode. It was an absolute perler by Nash. But I think Changing of the Guard, J-Max sticks, the weight comes off, and, Lloyd Williams cars always add about a couple of lengths to their horses, and I think that Changing of the Guard can win and beat Strathtay, who is a clear second pick. I've got Redstone well in for third. This horse, for Anabanisham, is absolutely flying, can win. They might just get a bit far back in the race. And Canberra Legend, if he showed his best, would be hard to beat. But we haven't seen his best since coming to Australia. And who says I'm not sure. Well, we can't really say what his best is because he hasn't shown it. We've only known his ability of what he's shown overseas. So, look, if he brings his best, he can put a step foot forward to be winning this. But I think changing the guard at the moment, J-Mac, and those colours over 2,400 metres, I just think it's probably the one to beat, or is the one to beat for mine. Then we go to the Furious Stakes. I'm going to surprise it. Again, I'm not going to surprise anybody here. I'm with Manal. I think that she can turn around her form on Amina. Narrow defeat by that filly last start. And I think can go one up on it. Meets at 3 kilos better off at the weights. And that's enough to turn the table for mine. From barrier number 7, Jason Collett sticking over the 1,200 metres. Amina, clear second pick. Beat her last start and can run well again. But draws awkwardly and looks to go back. Then in for third, I've got I haven't. I've got Zutang in for third. I think Rachel Key and James Cummings. This is a horse that's third up and fit and can run a race. But I just queried the form it's coming through, being I can't really because it's coming through the Silver Shadow behind Manal and Amina. So, and has the Silmarillion form by then will be looking pretty good with him winning in Melbourne. And Elmore Zillow in for fourth for Craig Williams and Kelly Schweider coming up from Brisbane. Then the next race is race 7 being the Concord over the 1,000, and we get to see the return of Giga Kick. Look, he's the best horse in the race, and I know, and I've backed him I've backed him on more than one occasion, and I know what everybody's going to say, 1,000-metre horse, 1,000-metre race. It doesn't always work out that way, but I'm hoping for this race it does because I am with him. I am with Giga Kick, and I'm hoping that he can get the chocolates. He's been off the scene for a year, but he's got James McDonald. Clayton Douglas wouldn't have him back if he wasn't ready. He had an clear excuse after running third to Imperatrice. That we know what Imperatrice has gone on and done throughout her before she was retired. Obviously, the 10 Group 1s. Doom and 10,000 winning himself, multiple Group 1 horse, multiple Group 1 placed, multiple stakes accolades to his name. He's got Sydney's best jockey aboard. He's got a really good barrier to give him options from the draw. He's favourites. I don't know what else I can really say. I mean, I just think he'll win. I've got Bella Nipotina in for second. Obviously, she's a very good mare. She really came of age last preparation in, when she travelled, winning the 10th. She won the 10,000. She ran second in the Kingsman Smith Cup. She ran a narrow second in the Stradbroke, and actually from on course, it actually looked like she had won. And then she bounced back for everybody's peace of mind and won the Tats Tiara, where she was a short price favourite, an absolute moral on the day, and got the job done. And she's a very good mare, but the inside draw could prove a little bit of a query, but Craig Williams is on her and looking to beat his old match in Giga Kick. I've got Arth Cabin in for third, returns to racing as a gelding. Big opportunity for Jason Collett here. But you'd have to think J-Mac would have had the choice to ride Arth Cabin and Giga Kick, and he's chosen to go with Giga Kick. So I think that speaks volumes for itself. And I've got Private Eye in for fourth. We know how good this horse is over a sprint trip first up. I can't remember what race it was, but the last time he was first up, I remember what Matty Hill said. It was Private Eye back for a stack and bolts in. So it could be that scenario again here. Jay Ford in the saddle for Joe Pride for the Concord, but Giga Kick to win for mine. In the Chelmsford over the 1,600 metres, Waller has a couple in it, so that Waterhouse and Bot. But I think Zardozi, the filly, the mare, actually, sorry, I got that wrong. The mare can win it from barrier 5, 56.5 kilos for James McDonald. You can see a pattern here, can't you? I'm tipping J-Mac in a couple of the feature races to get the job done. But I think Zardozi off the return effort can prove hard to beat. From the middle draw, can come out where she wants, power over the top of them, and just look like a very good horse going to the, I would assume maybe the Turnbull before the Caulfield Cup, but we'll just see what she can do. I think she can win here. I've got Hinged in for second, was a great return run. Second up here from the inside draw for National that can prove hard to, can go on with it. Adelaide River for third. We didn't see the best of this horse last preparation because I think this horse goes better on top of the ground. It's too short for him over the 16. Look for him over at least 2,000 to 2,400 meters later on in the preparation, but can run well. And got to throw Nonconformist in for fourth. He's been running really well, and Harry Coffey wouldn't be going to Sydney to ride him for nothing. So that's the Chelmsford done and dusted. And the Tramway, the last stakes race in Sydney over the 1,400 metres. And we get to see the return of an absolute star. And I've banged on about this horse till the cows come home. Amelia's Jewel. We were all so excited when she started winning impressively. She didn't win last preparation, but she ran some absolute cracking races. She beat Pride of Jenny in the stock stakes. She absolutely bolted in at Flemington when she first came over. Clear excuses when she ran in the Toorak. Clear excuses in the Golden Eagle. She wasn't ready for those races, or her preparation had told on her. But they're coming here. They're coming here as this is the kickoff. 1,400 meters first up. I think this horse, they trained her as a sprinter last preparation, running in the Roma Cup and then running in the Quokka, where she was narrowly defeated. But first up, 1,400 meters tells me she's ready. And with that, she's the best horse in the race. And with that, should take a lot of beating. And 270 looked a really, really good price. I've got Freedom Rally in for second for Craig Williams and Tony Gowan. I know how good this horse is, and if he'd got into the Stradbroke, he would have been competitive in that race. But I think while Amelia's Jewel will be too classy for him, look for him to be charging home over the top of the rest of the field, because he will be running home hard. Arctic Glamour in for third. This horse ran second last start, has no weight, and can run well for Tyler Schiller from the outside draw. And I've got Old Flame. Would you believe it? At 250 to 1 in for fourth. I know his form doesn't look too good, but you break it down, it actually is pretty good for a race like this. I'm not saying he's a winning chance by any means, but at 250 to 1 and $20 a place, you don't have to have much on to be getting a return back. And that's it for Sydney. But I also want to mention, I also have a share, a very minor share, in two other horses running today, being a Hell of a Barty in race 3 at Doomben. And by what the market is saying, what I have them the form on, she'll just win. He'll just win first up over the 1,110 meters. And then I've also got Hot Spring Gold going around in one of the later races in race 6 over the 2,000 meters at benchmark 9011. Now, his form may not look good. I concede this. It's not a strong race. Nikita Berryman sticks after last start, and there's a key change. They're going to ride him forward. So hopefully that can spark something, and hopefully he can do something, because we're waiting for him to do something. But he's got the outside draw, a jock that knows him well now, going forward, hopefully can run well. But that's it for the live stream. I hope I've tipped you into some winners, and I hope I get some winners. And could I even go better than 5 and get 6 winners at the Valley? Who knows? But it's going to be a ripping day. I'll be cheering home Hayasugi and Moir. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week for Maccabi Divas Stakes Day.